Hello, ninth grade students and their parents. My name is Jason Cianfrance. I am a math teacher here at Legacy High School. I also teach in and coordinate the Legacy 2000 program. We are nearing our spring application window where freshmen can apply to start the program as a sophomore. I know that we have a lot of strong freshmen out there. We have a lot of students who are interested in looking at school from a different perspective. Interested in challenging themselves and giving themselves other possible experiences out there in the world. And so L2k, I think, could be a really great way to do that. And so the purpose of this short video is to tell you, what is L2k? It's a simple question with a complicated answer because L2k is a very unique class. So I'm going to try to get that to you through several different examples today. Thing number one is to just show you examples of students doing. And some of these are students doing things within our program. Some of them are things that they have done after the program. And I think what this will show you is just the kinds of experiences that students can have in the program, as well as the skills and attitudes and mindsets that we build within students. So this is a picture of somebody who you probably recognize. Oh, for me, it's that guy. So that's Jake Ramsey. He was a senior in my class. And because his career interests were in politics, he decided to go work on several different campaigns. And in doing that, got to meet an ex-president, which seems pretty cool. So he was able to put in, I think, over 400 hours working on several different campaigns, really gets to see what it's like to put on an actual run a candidate and put on a campaign. Here's another example of somebody getting some real world experience. This is Ryan Rothenberg, who did his senior internship at the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. They were so impressed, they invited him back to speak to their board of directors. This is a picture of a boat/bike. Students basically took a couple of bikes and an old canoe and built an aquatic/land vehicle. They were actually able to drive it right up the road from Legacy to McKay Pond, right across the pond and back up the other side. They did this as sophomores in the program for their R&D project. Another thing that you will do in sophomore year is you get to do what's called a deconstruction reconstruction project. This is a time lapse of 1 week of class in one of the L2k classes where they are taking apart a printer to figure out how it works, see what all the components of the printer do. And then they would be challenged after they've taken it apart and gotten it all the way down to the nuts and bolts to put it back together, to engineer it to do some sort of task. So the class goal might be put it back together to launch a ball into a hoop. It might be to climb a stair. It might be to make a vehicle. And so lots of good, real hands-on sort of things that you get to do in the program. Here's another example. One of my students got to do their junior job shadow and another got to do their senior internship down at 9 News. Get to sit behind the desk, see what life is like in the journalism world. Here are some students who recently graduated from the program who went to CU and they formed a team and they actually were able to build and launch their own weather balloon. With recording, they were actually able to get it into low Earth orbit and see the curvature of the Earth down there at the bottom. So that was kind of nice. Kirk Nichols, early graduate of the program, was defending his doctoral dissertation, his thesis at Stanford in 2015. He invited us to join and watch this happen. If you want to pause and read that, you can. But basically, the cool thing about this is in his acknowledgments at the end of his multi-slide slideshow, he was able to thank 3 of his L2k teachers, his 3 from his years at Legacy High School, saying that they were foundational in building his understanding of what it takes to do the sort of things he was doing. So that's Mr. Hammerly, Mr. Deedle, and Miss Marks, who are all 3 currently still at the school. Miss Marks happens to be our principal now. This is what he actually ended up getting his PhD in partially by making some haptic robotic gloves. All right, another ex-student of ours was working at Lehigh University, trying to figure out how to get greenhouses on Mars. Again, he shared this with us because he felt like Legacy 2000 was foundational in his abilities to be able to do this experience and contribute in this way. Another example is Simon Hafner, who graduated, went to CU immediately as an undergraduate because of the skills that he learned in L2k and his ability to work with other people. got put on a team with graduate level students trying to expand battery life. And so there he is. And there he is again. And so really getting to do really cool things as a younger person who might not be able to do these. Again, he shared these with us because he felt like L2K was the thing that gave him the ability to have the skills to have these sorts of experiences. All right, now let's get into some of the details about what the program is. What does L2K do on a daily basis? Well, I want to know, you might be interested in L2K if you want to get prepared for college and increase your chances of getting into a good college. Lots of our state schools and some other out-of-state schools recognize L2K, but more than that, it's about what sort of skills it builds within you. The ability to write essays, the ability to communicate well, to stand out from a crowd. It will really increase your ability to also go to college and be a successful first-year college student and beyond. You want to discover what you want to do in life. One of the things I'm going to talk about later is L2K and choice. You get to choose what you research in this program. You get to choose what sort of things you do for your job shadow and your internship. You get to choose the projects that you do. And so you have a lot of opportunities within school to really find out what you want to do with your life. Do you want to learn to be a better public speaker? We give lots of speeches in L2K. If it's an area of fear for you, it'd be great to take it in high school with a lot of support and become a great public speaker in this program. You write some research papers and you really will become a fabulous writer through your experience in L2K. You do a lot of collaborative projects in this class. So you do a lot of working with other students. All of the students in the program are highly motivated, great students who will be a good team. You'll want to work with these students. And do you want to be challenged? L2K is designed to be a more rigorous class, not an impossible class, but it will challenge you in new and interesting ways. It's not designed to be super, super hard. It's just designed to get you to think differently and to give you school from sort of a different perspective. So if the answers to those questions are yes, you might want to consider applying for the program. All right, one of the huge things about L2K is the concept of choice. These were log topics. A log is a paper that they write every 3 to 4 weeks throughout the program. And these are the log topics from 1 week, a couple of months ago that I read from my class. So you can see all of the different things that students are choosing to write their papers on, to give their speeches on. I learned so much by teaching this class. You have the ability as a student to go out there and say, I'm really interested in fill in the blank. Anything. And if you can find a math or a science or a technology angle to it, it will work for your speech. It will work for your paper in this program. All right, so here's the overview. Well, freshman year, we lay a lot of those foundations. We teach you how to do the research, the writing, the public speaking, the group work, all of those sort of like laying the foundations things. If you've had a good freshman year at Legacy, you've learned some of these things in your other classes. And when you come into sophomore year of L2K, you'll have a bunch of students around you that are going to be willing to help you out to learn any of these things that you don't know. And you will get up to speed really, really quickly with these things by being a member of our strong community. Sophomore year, then, you do a whole lot of professional science. You run your own labs, you make your own experiments, and you report out to the class. Second half of the year is about engineering. So you do those build projects. You get to design, do your own research and design project and build whatever you want from the ground up. And then you learn a lot more about yourself, what you're interested in, what you're good at, and what you want to maybe do for a career. Junior year, you go out and you do a 20-hour job shadow in a field that you are interested in, and you start really thinking about college. And then your senior year, you do a 40-hour internship. And again, you're really homing in on what you think you want to do for college and your career. So who are we after? We want students who are willing to invest and willing to accept constructive criticism. We want students who want to grow. We want students who want to get better. We want students who want to give it their all and really treat school in a different way. We want students who are passionate about STEM and learning. You do not actually have to want to have a STEM career to be successful in L2K. You can want to do pretty much anything, but you have to have a decent interest in STEM because we're going to want you to do a lot of your projects through the lens of science, technology, engineering, or mathematics. But really what we want is people who want to learn, who are curious about the world around them, who want to investigate things and find out how things work and really dig deeper and challenge themselves. We want students with good character who are respectful. We really give our students a lot of freedom to do a lot of things. We can't let you come into class and have a power tool if you're not going to be very respectful with it and very, have good character with those sort of things. We also are going to send you out into the community to do your job shadows and your internships. So we take that very seriously. We want students who are problem solvers, who like to attack problems in their class and figure out how things work. We want them to say, like, there's an obstacle in front of me. I need to figure out how to overcome that obstacle. We want students with intellectual promise. Now, grades are a part of the application process, but you do not have to be a straight A student, and you do not also have to be some sort of super genius to be successful in L2k. Sometimes it gets tagged as like the smart kid class. Well, you have to be pretty smart, but you do not have to be like the smartest kid who ever went to the school. We have hundreds and hundreds of students in this program who are successful. The thing that separates them is a decent intellectual foundation with a strong work ethic and a strong positive attitude and desire to learn. So, word association. When somebody says, what is L2K? I think choice, because you get to choose the things that you are learning in this class. I think about critical thinking. It's going to make you think different about your papers. You don't just write a paper, you write a paper and you also incorporate your own ideas into it. And you do that in your speeches as well. It's about professionalism and attention to detail. It's about rigor. It's about relevance. You're choosing what you want to learn. And so it's all relative to your life and your future goals. It's about self-discovery. It's about collaboration, working with others. You do very little in this program that is in isolation. You write your own papers, you give your own speeches, but all of the other things that you do is in a collaborative environment. It's about passion, all right? Figuring out what you really want to do with your life and be able to contribute to the world. And it's about authenticity. So the learning you're doing in this class is always about what is connected to you, what's authentic, what's meaningful to you, and what's going to make a difference. And what it ends up coming down to is, after spending a lot of time with the students in this class, you form the best bonds of your life. You really form a family of learners. So here was a senior class of mine a couple of years ago. You will have a group of students, 90 other students in this building, who will go to bat for you, who will do anything for you, who will form study groups with you, go out with you on the weekends, have fun. It's not a grind, despite what maybe some freshmen tell you, because they're in the learning journey right now. But you can actually have a life and be an L2K. You can have fun and be an L2K. You can do tons of extracurriculars and be an L2K, including varsity sports, including marching band, including clubs and activities and Stugo, all of those things. We can fit it into your schedule. So here's what you need to do to apply. We're going to look at basically two things. We're going to look at your overall freshman year grades and overall performance. Again, you don't have to be perfect. We're just looking for students who are getting relatively good grades in their classes. And we're going to look for responses to some essay prompts. So we're going to have you come in, and there's going to be two questions that pop up on the screen. The first one is up there at the top. Why do you want to join Legacy 2000? And what do you want to gain from this program? And then there's going to be another randomly released in the session prompt, and it will not be something in which you have to study for. It won't be something in which you have to know facts about the world. It'll be something that is a mindset or an attitude question, or a what would you do in this sort of instance sort of question. We want to see how you can think on your feet. We're not going to count words, but we're saying, roughly 200 words or so for each response. We just want to see you write and write well, but not have to feel like you have to say everything there is about it. These essay responses from you will be graded on 4 things. Do you fully address all aspects of the prompt? Do you have insight and analysis? Can you provide specific evidence to support your points and ideas? And then, is it unique and authentic? Does it sound like it's actually coming from your brain right there, and you're not trying to just capture or tell us what you think we want to hear? So here's the application session. It will be Thursday, April 7th. In room A217. That's a computer lab in the main A hallway, right next to a teacher office. That will be at 3:40 p.m. If you're interested in it, pause the video right now, set a reminder in your phone that will tell you, hey, I need to come to this. We are only offering this one session, so you got to be able to make it. If for some reason this date doesn't work for you, contact me and I'll work around that with you. All right, so what do you got to do? Well, if you go to the Legacy web page and you go to academics and you drop down to Legacy 2000 right there, it'll take you to our L2k web page. That will give you hopefully some more insights that maybe you didn't get from me today. There's lots of student videos embedded in there where you can see students talking about what the program has done for them. Lots of other good information there as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you made it through. Hope it wasn't too boring for you. I really appreciate your time. If you have any questions at all, you would like a one-on-one chat with me, I'm more than happy to do that. There is my email address and there is my phone number, and you can contact me at any time. All right. Thank you so much for your time today.